All right, I think I'm live. Hey everyone, Steve here. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to live QA number 34. I hope everyone is having had or is having a great weekend. And if you're new to these live streams, then welcome. Just a little bit of pre-information. Usually what I like to do with these kind of things is set some kind of topic and then, teach something around that topic, and then that kind of sets a theme for the live stream. So as always, I appreciate those that have come in early. So we got Nomad again, great to see you, and Kuji as well, great to see you again, always in early on that one, so I really appreciate that. Okay, Darko, hey, and who else have we got? We've got Mitchell, good to see you too. All right, so today's theme. And if you look at the title and the thumbnail, well, actually, before I get to there, I just want to wait for a few more people to come in, just so everyone gets the benefit of the little lesson that I've got planned at the start. But I'm gonna have to make this one a little bit shorter today. I've got a few things to prep before my first class today, so hopefully I can go for about half an hour or so, and I'll see how much I can get done. Hey Ben Lamau, howdy. Good to see you. All right. Much happened last week. With my job, had a lot of marking to do. Didn't really get much done. I had the live stream. I've got a bunch of lesson content that I'm working on. It's just, life is getting in the way, unfortunately, at the moment. And as you may notice in the background, if you were here last week, I said that my Blue Telecaster and the Talman are currently at the guitar shop getting some work done to them, and they're still not back. I'm dearly missing my Blue Telecaster. I'm not gonna lie. But in the meantime, I've been playing my Mustang, the Gok guitar and the Gibson a lot more, so I've got to know those guitars a bit better in that time. All right, Nomad, it's free guitar lesson day. Hopefully it's a good lesson. We'll see. Don't hold me to that. Good to see you again, Collins. Jonathan, hey. Is that Indiana? Yeah, excellent. Right. Ainsley, they said, Steve, you're my favorite guitar YouTuber. Well, I really appreciate that. But there's probably, you need to see more. just joking. Other YouTubers, but really appreciate that one. So, yeah, okay, Ben, Mustangs are very beautiful. I really like this guitar, I must admit. It's good fun. Yeah. No, I don't know if there's not much more to say about it, really. So, today's theme, first chord to learn for math rock. So it's not actually a typo. I didn't mean like first chords to learn for math rock. I thought I'd take a different approach to this one, and perhaps we would just go with one chord, and I tried to show you 3 things that you can do with just one chord that will potentially make your ideas sound more, math rock. Of course, this is going to be all based in my own approach to writing and my own styles and stuff. So it's going to have obviously me written all over it, but obviously you can take this away and work it into your own ideas. Hey Kudo, good to see you again. I'm doing all right, as good as I can do. Okay, Mitchell, the offset telly is actually the perfect guitar. I want to try one. I'm tempted to get one of those Squire paranormal Telecasters whenever they eventually arrive here in South Korea. Okay, Darko, is it a sus4? It's not a sus4 chord, but that is a good one. Okay, good to see you again, Ging the Digger. Steve, your PDF download is really good. Easily the best $5 I've ever spent on music. Well, thank you very much for the support. On the subject of the book, before I get started, I am almost, well, not almost, but I'm getting there with the updates, and I've gone over the entire book and I've reworked sections, and I've also put in especially the alternative tuning section. I've put a whole bunch of new chords, used new diagrams and stuff. So I'm really excited to share that with you when it's done. So if anyone's already purchased the book, I'll explain in the video that I make how you can get the updated version. Basically, if you buy it from my website, then you'll automatically get it to that email that you purchased it with. However, I have it in quite a few other places, so I need to address those when we get there. Anyway, never meant just started playing. It's never a bad day. Okay, so chord. What chord are we talking about? So the first chord, my favorite chord, so we're going to go with that, is a major 9 shape, and we're going to be on the A string root for this one. And probably my favorite chord. Yeah, it probably is my favorite chord here. Is the major 9 chord. Here I'm playing a C major 9. I'm not sure if my guitar's in shot. It's got this major 7th interval in it. If you don't know what that means, completely fine. Just know it has that tension in it. It's lovely. You know, plain C major 9. However, if this works, let's see, chords. Yeah, there we go. We've got a mini chord up on the top of the screen here. And this is the same chord, but this time we're going to play up on the 8th fret here. And this is an F major 9 chord instead. So that's the chord we're going to start with on that one. And there's a lot you can do with just this one chord. We're not even going to branch out of this chord today. And hopefully this will help you. I planned it all last night, but we'll see how this goes. So if this falls on its face, it's my fault. So we're going to look at these 3 stages. So first you've got the chord itself, this F major 9. And there's, you know, many things we could do with this chord itself. You know, we could strum it. In many different kinds of strumming patterns, especially ones that you enjoy or ones that you want to copy from your favorite bands. We could also use this chord to make a riff as well. Something within the style of toe I came up with last night. Let's see if this works too. I'll get a little tab on screen. There we go. So we are in standard tuning for this one. This picture clarifies that for us. And I forgot to say that with all the stuff that I use in this live stream, it is available to Patreons. So if you are a Patreon, you can get these charts and chords and stuff when I upload them. I haven't uploaded them yet, but I'll do that sometime after this live stream. So the first idea, we're around this major 9 chord, and we're in, you know, this F position here. And this idea sounds like this. Or we could play, let's play it the original way first. Sounding a bit rolled off today, aren't we? You could let all those strings ring, especially if you're like beginner and new to this. I'd suggest that first. Maybe pick it all with a pick. And then you could start to staccato it as well. And that's, again, it's all that same chord. I've also used this, I haven't got the idea here, but you know, that adds that extra note in there, but I'll get to that soon. But oops. Yeah, I haven't played that riff for a while. But in my band Mountains, a song like Out of Sight, Out of Mind, I've used that chord shape, you know, to make a riff. So there's plenty we can do with just that shape itself. So what I'm trying to get at is you don't need to worry so much about moving. So the next step, what we could do, let's I'm gonna have to jumble some stuff around on screen for you here. Just looking at the chat, see if I've missed anything. I guess everyone's just reminding you of the Fall of Troy already. To me, Ben, not sure what toe song it is, but that's definitely I that exact rhythm, I think. Could be wrong. So let's, with the magic of OBS, let's see if this works. Let's go over to this. No, we need to get rid of the tab first, and then we're going to introduce some more chords. That's what we're going to do. So we can do that just with the chord itself, but then what we could consider is keeping the same chord but changing some of the notes, but still keeping it in the vein of being major. So we've got this comically named F69 chord, and then we also have this F major 7. Let's see if I bring that over a bit. There we go. Clear things up a bit more. There we go. So on this chart here, the blue notes, the notes that I've put in blue, the solid black ones, they are the root note in this case, which is F, and then these blue notes, they are the notes that have changed from that original chord shape at the top. So this F major 9, we can do this F69 chord by barring your index finger. That's the second chord on that chart there. And then we can just play a straight F major 7, which starts to sound a bit more jazzy. More jazzy than it already does. So we're keeping with that, within that same shape, within that same flavor, but we're just adding a little bit of variation. And like the other example, I have two little example exercises that we can use to practice this. Again, let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to have to move the tab around a bit now. Tab. Where can we put it? At the bottom. Let's see. Now I need to scroll. Wait there. I'm very newbie at this, so do bear with me a second. Let's take a look at our next idea. Yeah, okay, so the moving shapes example 1, there we go. I'll bring that down there. We will come down here. Hopefully that's coming through on the screen. It's probably going to be blurry. Oh, not that one. That's not the right one. I hope it's not. I'm trying not to cover. There we go. If I put it there in my mid riff, that should work. All right. So for this example, we're going to move through those shapes. So we're going to start on this F major 9 chord, sorry, this F69, and end on this F major 7. And that's how that exercise sounds. And yeah, we're still sticking in the F, the F major sound, and we've just made an idea from that. So you could try using that one, and then I made a little variation on that one too. So again, if this is the right way to do it, let's see. Come down, and so here's the second example. Bring that up there, and this time I think it's what was this one? Going backwards, I think. I'm not playing it in 4/4 there, like the example, but that's another thing you could do as well. You could think about which of these chords could you arpeggiate, means playing the notes individually, and which ones you could strum as well. So there's two example ideas for the second step, which is using the same shape, the same chord idea, basically this major chord, but altering the shape a bit. And then the last part, let's get rid of the tab. What we can do then is still keep these chord shapes in mind, but we can also add a arpeggio. So an arpeggio is playing the notes of the chord tones individually, and this will fit nicely with it. So here I've got this F major 7 arpeggio. And it's pretty straightforward. Starting on that Oh, I've put it on the 7th fret. Sorry, it's meant to be the 8th fret. So I will have to change that. You know, we're not playing an E major. We're playing an F major. The shape's still the same though. But that's your shape. And what you can do now is the third and final step in this beginner chord journey is to use these notes as well as the notes that you're playing in the chord to write some kind of melody ideas that you can fit in between your chords if you're strumming them. It really depends on the context that you are going for. And again, I have another example of this. So if I bring the tab back up and we'll come down, Alt, there we go, one last time. Bring this up, and oh, is there more? Yeah, I need to scroll down on the. There we go. Nope, wrong one. Wow. Okay, there we are. Bring that back up. So this is adding a major arpeggio as well as the notes from the chords. So remember that arpeggio is the notes of the chord themselves, but we can also use these notes that are in the chord. So and that's that idea there. So I'm using 2 of the chord shapes, and then I'm using notes from the chord. There's 10 to 8 to 9 is part of that arpeggio. And that's what you could do there. And you can use all of these arpeggio notes. You know what I'm getting at there. So there's lots of room for experimentation, and it's all within that vein of just that same major sound. So we've not even changed chord yet, and I just wanted to give you 3 ways that you could approach just using that one chord itself to make just some ideas. Of course, with harmony, we kind of want it to go somewhere, so eventually we could build that tension, on this F major chord. And then we could release it, to the C here, so the tonic. But that's for another time. So just to reiterate quickly again, so the chord itself, the F, this major chord, you can use that, whatever the chord shape is, of course. I'm just using this for the purpose of examples and demonstration. So we've got the F major chord, and then we can start to change that chord shape itself. Obviously, you could change it to, if you're familiar with theory, then you can change this to, like sus chord shapes. As long as you're not getting that, that changing to a minor chord, but of course you're more than welcome to do that if you wanted to. And then the final step was to introduce some melody work, and here I've just given you a framework of using the arpeggio to get that job done. And obviously every single chord that you change to, you could do the same thing. You could use different variations of that chord, and also find out what the corresponding arpeggio is for writing ideas. All of this is aimed at essentially getting you to write some kind of riffy ideas and in the style that you want to do. So like I said, I'll have all this stuff available on Let's get rid of those for now. I have it all available on the Patreon stuff, so if you want to go there later, you can grab that from there. But hopefully that concludes the little segment for now, and hopefully that was useful for you. And what I plan to do is also make this into a full lesson. So hopefully on Friday I'll have some more information about that, and I can take my time and I can edit it and think about my ideas a bit more. But hopefully that was useful for you. All right, so I'm going to jump back over to the chat now. So I've got about 15 minutes and then I'll have to shoot off. Right. Yeah, it has that kind of Japanesey kind of feel to it, right? Like a math rock progression there. All right. Nomad, they said, are you down picking the first two notes of the riff? Oh, sorry, I should have checked the chat whilst I was doing it. That one, if you mean that bit, that's like a pull-off. I was hybrid picking quite a bit of as well, but you can play it all with a pick. So, yeah. Okay. Salo, excellent. Thanks, Reno. Very useful. Thanks, Nate. Ben, thanks for all this feedback, by the way. I've been enlightened. Thank you, Ben. There's a lot more to it than that. I was just trying to keep it as simple as possible. I'm trying to remember what it was like to not know this stuff, if that's possible. Okay, Garrett, good to see you again. Nice lesson. I thought it was very useful. Thanks. Okay, I'll use that for the future. Salah, excellent. Okay. Okay, no problem, Nomad. Yeah, that riff, Ben. Yeah, you may notice that riff. I've used it a few times. It's what you got hooked on the channel, actually. Good stuff. Okay, so glad you all enjoyed that. I'm just going back up, and Darko asked what was my favorite tuning. This week, because I've been updating the alternative tuning section in the book, I've been playing in FACGCE and DAEA C sharp E tuning, because they're the two most prominent ones that I use, and I think that are used by bands. And I've been trying to work out chords and stuff to put in the book, and I always find that I just find DAEA C sharp E just a bit easier for me, and I just seem to find ideas a bit easier in that tuning, so I probably say I gravitate towards that tuning a bit more. But nothing wrong with the others, of course. That's the thing with alternative tunings, they situate you within a key pretty much straight away. That sound. Like if you play FACGCE, that's like an F major 9 chord. So you've already situated yourself in either F major or C major. If you're looking at as the first chord, that's of F major, or the fourth chord of C major. So you kind of you don't have a blank canvas. You already have some kind of base coat on that canvas. So it's very useful because it provides you with something to get you going already. Whereas standard tuning, it doesn't really sound like much. So it's up to you where to launch from in that regard. The video that I did last week on the making standard tuning sound like an open tuning, where we looked at using the A and the E, so using like A major or E major, and taking out the D and the G notes because they're not in those in one of those keys or both of those keys. And we looked at how we could make that sound more like an open tuning, right? That was a fun one. But to me, I like playing in standard. It's what I learned and what I've studied the longest time. But alternative tuning's really, really good fun. Okay. Well, thanks for the question. All right, where were we? Collins. Okay, it was mostly followed. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. It's hard to do beginner content because I try to get like any of that ego out the way, like, oh, I could show off this here, or I could do that. I'm just trying to situate it in, okay, what's the first thing I could learn to get started with trying to get into like math rock or whatever it is that attracts you to that style. And that's what I thought about last night. Instead of thinking about a chord progression, let's just stick with one chord at the start and see what we can do there. But I'm going to work on it a bit more this week, polish it up a little bit, and hopefully have a lesson for you at the end of the week. Just really depends on how work goes this week. Okay. All right. You mostly followed Nate. Okay. Nate, how come you never played or showcased your song While I'm Not a Drunk Chef? Well, that one, I've never done I've done a playthrough video of it on my channel. I went up to the coast nearby and I did a playthrough of that one. That song is the only song on that record that wasn't written by myself. That was written by Ali, with bass first, and then I put the guitar to it. So it does have a different feel to the rest of the album, but I'm a big fan of that song. And like the it's in that swung feel to it, right? And then the I haven't played it in so long, I've forgotten it. But that middle towards the end of the song, that's my favorite part. But if you haven't heard the song that Nate's talking about, that one is on the latest EP that we did, Midnight EP by my band Mountains, and I think it's the last track on that one. And it's a really, really good song. I enjoyed that one. Currently we're working on the next record. So Joel, our drummer, is recording drums, and then we're gonna go from there. But nothing's really gonna happen until next year, I feel like. Okay, and thank you for mentioning that, and really saying that you enjoy that song. Okay. Ben, currently playing without a high E string, and it pains me. Oh dear. Oh no. Strings are a pain. I don't tend to break them, but my problem is I get lazy and I never clean them after I finish playing, and then next time I pick it up it's rusty. So these days, like, I just keep a cloth on the desk, and someone told me as well to use like WD-40, so I sprayed a bit on the cloth and I just give it a proper screw up every time. And you can also make sure the sound's off it. Ping the strings as well. That will help you out. Just try to clean them every time. It does make them last a lot longer. Okay. All right. Right. So you said you were messing around with SACGC and that snapped. All right then. Check it out later. Okay then. King the Digger. I love. Okay, DGDBG. DGDGBD. I think that's the same as DAEAC sharp E, isn't? No, it's not, isn't it? It's not the same, no. But that's cool. All right. Okay. Never cleaned my strings. You should probably do that. All right. Okay. So, like I said, unfortunately, I have to keep this one short today. I got a few things to do before my class starts, so I'm just trying to go for half an hour, and people are coming in, unfortunately. All right. So, Stephen, they asked, how do I figure out chords in those other you mean in different tunings? I just literally apply the chord spellings, and then I just try and find where the most convenient places are for the notes and stuff. That's what I tend to do there. But you end up with lots of like doubled notes, and you get this really like big like open sound. It's really cool. All right, so unfortunately everyone, I need to shoot, and so hopefully next week I'll have a bit of a longer live stream for you, but I'm going to be at the same time this 9:30 a.m. Korean time for me. So whatever time this started for you this week, it will be the same next week. So I really appreciate you hanging out today, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and hopefully I will make that into a full lesson for you this Friday. If you would like to get the materials, I will put them on Patreon, and I'll throw a link in this video description for you later. Okay, thanks for joining today everyone, and have a great weekend if you're still on Sunday, and have a great week. And sorry Herbert, it's good to see you again though, and I'll catch you all next Monday. All right then. Thanks everyone. See ya.